I'd like to spend a few moments talking about the TAAA, Tucson Amateur Astronomy Association website and give you a brief overview of what's available on the website. You can find the website at tucsonastronomy.org. It has two purposes, as we have a mission that serves two general groups, and that is serving our members and serving the community. Serving our members, we have a tremendous amount of content. The structure of the content is put together by the TAAA webmaster, but the content itself is often contributed by TAAA members and maintained by editors that have been assigned portions of the website. So the website stays as dynamic as the activities that we're involved in. Thought I'd spend a few moments to give you a familiarity of what's available to members. I'll start with the homepage, tucsonastronomy.org. And as you can see, the webpage starts with these tiles that are dynamic in that whatever happens to be a topical subject at the moment may appear here. There are some tiles which are fairly constant. For instance, the Grand Canyon Star Party, which happens every June, is a highlighted item on the tiles at the moment. And any of these tiles can be clicked through to go to the content that's described in each of the tiles. We have our astronomy camp, the Timpa dark site that is on the west side of town, the benefits of being a member, services we provide, and some general information about TAAA as the tiles for the month. If you scroll down the landing page, though, you'll see then information about our upcoming monthly meeting, topical information about the upcoming astronomy fundamentals meeting. And often you'll see next the blog that is provided by Eric Akashka about the planets. To the left of the page, you'll see historic blog information. And towards the top of the page, there are menu items across the center of the page here. And before we leave this page, I would like to point your attention to this little magnifying glass. If you click the magnifying glass, it opens a little box that you can type a phrase in. And if you type a phrase in this box and hit the return, it will show a search of the website for whatever the topic is that you were looking for. So if you were looking for information about the Grand Canyon Star Party, you could type that in, and it will show you a listing of pages which have information about that star party. It's a great way to shortcut getting to anything on the page or any of the various pages that you'd like to see. Just below that, though, is the main run of the menus. You'll see these various drop-down menus that have got lists of the various pages that you can go to get information about the association. Let's start at the left, and we'll just go through them, and I'll give you a quick tour. Under About TAAA is a list of our board members with a little bios about each of them. There is an important page that is called Governance. It is important because it has a list of subpages that have the governing documents, the founding documents, the policy documents of the organization, fundamental type of information about how we run the organization. You can see our articles of incorporation are shown here. Board minutes you can click to get to historic minutes. There is a link for board members only for their content, our Constitution, the forms that were filed with the IRS to give us our nonprofit designation, which donors sometimes like to see. You see here financial statements. If you click through this, you'll have 20 years worth of IRS tax form 990s, which shows our financial results for the year. There's a link for readers only for content that they have access to. There are then various other important topics, including this policies that have been approved by the organization. Let's click on that. It shows then an index of the policies that govern our organization. For instance, our policy on conflicts of interest or our document retention policy. I think there are some 40 different policies that have been approved that you can see under this sub page. So lots of information there under governance. There is a page of the history of TAAA for the first 50 years or so, and a page finally of metrics, which gives you a description of the organization, some important highlights in terms of what we do, where we are in terms of serving our community, a description of our membership, who they are, where they are, and a summary of our financial statements. The next topic on the menu is community involvement. I'll just say that this drop-down shows those items that describe what we're doing in the community, how we're involved, the ways we're serving the community. Much of it has to do with teachers asking us to host star parties, how they can do that, how they request it, how they would run those. Lots of information about how a community member would get us involved with their organization. There's some similar topics in the next drop-down, and that is specific information about school star parties, how a school or other nonprofit might request a star party at their location, information generally about how to organize your star party, information about how to request a star party if you are not a nonprofit, if you are a resort or maybe even a private party that's having a wedding that you might like some entertainment at. We can make great entertainment for a nighttime event to show folks the sky. And finally, a list of places in town that you might go that are good places that we found, that members have found to go stargazing on their own. The next drop down has to do with events. And I think that this first item I want to show you is our events calendar. It is a calendar that pulls up events that our leaders have put into our events software. So you can see what is happening around town during the month. All these descriptions of where we'll be and what we'll be doing. Great resource. Plus information on specifics about events in the community. The Skywatchers Guide is our partners in Tucson and what they're doing during the current month. Specific about our Grand Canyon Star Party. Lots of information about that event, which we host each year with the National Park Service, and the Tucson Astronomy Festival, which we host every year when Astronomy Day rolls around. The next drop down I'll just talk about briefly. It is a list of special tips about working in and around astronomy in Tucson. It lists general information about astronomy. It lists basics about astronomy, information about observing and imaging, information about astrophotography, which is a focus of many of our members, and just some other general great links and information about astronomy generally. This next drop down, TAAA resources, is specific to TAAA and what we have available primarily for members. Our organization has two observing sites, one on the east side of town, the Chiricahua Astronomy Complex, and on the west side of town, over the Tucson Mountains, the TIMPA observing site. They both have special features that are unique to those locations. The Chiricahua Astronomy Complex, I'll open up. It has some wonderful resources that are available to members 365 days a year. We have weekends that are hosted, so members who may want to go for the first time to observe or to do astro imaging, there'll be someone on site that can show them around the site, give them an idea of how they might use the site, or a member can read through the resources listed here that give a good summary of the availability of resources there, the telescopes available, the instructions that might be available. We've got a weather station there that's online, all kinds of great resources. When you go to these sites, whether it's the east site or the site on the west, we ask you to make reservations. That gives us an idea of how many people are going to be there and need support. At the CAC site, the reservations link is particularly important because there are many resources that are available there to reserve. Now, it takes a couple of steps to get there. When you click on that reservations link, it takes you to a sign-on screen, and you have to put your member planet username and password in, log in, and then go down to the CAC dark site reservations link. This means that the reservation link is only available to members who can sign on. And when you get to this page, it shows you the many things that can be reserved at the CAC site. If you're just going to observe for the night, that's fine. You can click just observing. If you want to stay the night, we have a number of resources that will help you do that. You can reserve rooms. We have rooms that have single beds, and we've got rooms that have got a bunk bed and a single bed. So those rooms can be reserved online. You can also reserve a cot that is available in the Reynolds Mitchell Observatory. If you have an RV, we've got RV sites. They're reserved by their amperage. We have 30 amp sites and 50 amp sites. We also have the ability for you to reserve a parking place to plug in your EV. So that's a handy feature. And if you're going out, you want to reserve one of the telescopes that you have been certified to use at CAC, you can click on that and reserve that telescope for the night. So all sorts of wonderful resources that are available for our members to reserve at the dark site there at the Chiricahua Astronomy Complex. We have a page that lists the classes and various workshops that are available. Many of them are offered at our TIMPA site, and those can be reserved on that web page. We have Astronomical League resources for some of the common Astronomical League observing programs. The Astronomical League, for those who don't know, is a a third-party national organization that has observing programs that are organized, programs that we help to support. When you work through the program, complete it, you get certified and recognition with either a certificate or a certificate and a pin. They are really great programs to go through to walk you through how to observe items like variable stars or the Messier objects, and support to show you how to best make those observations in a scientific manner. We have links to our special interest groups. Astronomy Fundamentals, Astroimaging, and our Starry Messengers group all have their own web pages. These are groups of individuals who host monthly meetings on topics that are, as they're described there. The Starry Messengers maybe is not so self-explanatory. These are hands-on educational kits that are taken to schools and events that can be reserved by nonprofits. Great group of people that are key to our Astronomy Day celebration and our Tucson Festival of Books, where we do lots of work with youngsters. The TAAA forum, this is a page that describes how to get onto our forum. It is a blog forum where astronomical topics are discussed. Lots of traffic about astroimaging there for those of you who are either pros or just learning how to get your cameras to work. That's a great place to sign up and visit and read through and participate in the dialogue. The library is a physical library. We have books in our meeting room at the University of Arizona that can be checked out. And that web page gives you a list of those books. It is a quite lengthy book or a list of books that you will probably recognize. It is a resource that would be invaluable for you to take advantage of, because there's so many, it would be very costly to duplicate on your own. The Night Sky Learning Center describes a pair of buildings at our Chiricahua Astronomy Complex that in part have been designed for use for taking students under the night sky and sharing the sky with classroom, sleeping rooms, telescopes that are dedicated for use for both members and students. Great resource. The Astronomy Channel is a page that takes you to lists of primarily videos, some PowerPoint presentations that have been done by various groups within TAAA. You'll find links to our monthly meetings, links to our Astronomy Fundamentals, primarily through various subject headings, a list of topics that have been done by our astroimaging group, a wonderful set of resources, video resources primarily. This next one, let me just take you to it because it is a fabulous historic resource. This page, our Desert Sky Bulletins, is a historic list with links to the issues of our bulletin or our quarterly going back into the 1990s. A fascinating look at what was happening at those times, both in our organization and in astronomy generally. It's a fascinating place to browse and see what was happening historically with the organization. This next link on the summary is the equipment loaner pool. This is a resource at our TIMPA site. We have telescopes that are available for our members to borrow. If And it's a very common question for our new members. If you are looking for a telescope, then you're trying to decide what telescope you might want to get. This is a great way to get some experience with various equipment, to get your hands on different kinds of equipment that will help you decide what really makes sense for you. So, wonderful resource that you can coordinate through the folks at TIMPA. The next item on the drop-down is a description of a project we've got to install a 0.8 meter Cassegrain telescope. This is a research-grade telescope that's been donated to us. We're in the process of building an observatory for it. The next item on the list is our member image gallery. This is a beautiful page, a list of images that have been taken by our members. And each of these images has a link to pages in AstroBin primarily, showing the other images that this particular member has taken, with details about the equipment, about the image, about the object. A very pretty set of resources, if you will, for our from our members. It is really impressive what our members have been able to put together, both from their backyards and our dark sites. And lastly, there is a page that links you to the websites of members. Very enjoyable to see all the work that our members are doing in various aspects of astronomy. A very important part of this menu is our contacts page. If you click that first item, contact info, it will give you the way to contact the leaders and the emails that you'll need in order to contact folks that are running the various aspects of TAAA. Got a question? This is the place to go to get your answer. If you don't know where to go to get your answer, you don't know what person to contact, there's a general form to email us that will get routed to the person that will help you out. The membership button takes you to various places that have to do with our membership. The first button is a list of all the benefits you have as a member. There are quite a few. The way to join online is shown here. A form that allows you to join by mail is the next button. There's a renewal button. There is a button that shows you how to use Member Planet, which is the area of our IT system that houses our member information. It is segregated from our general website and not accessible to the general public. There is a page that shows how you join the Astronomical League to take advantage of those observing programs. A link to our apparel service where you can order apparel with our branded logo. And finally, a way to get your Astronomical League membership payments made. This final button takes you to our members only page. There is content there, especially reservations and events that you can get to through this page. And finally, a button will allow you to donate to TAAA in various ways, whether it's just to help support our services or to help us to continue to run our dark sites. There's a number of ways that you can support TAAA with donations. I appreciate you spending the time to see what is here, and I hope you spend some time cruising through the website to see what's available from TAAA to help make your observing and your experience in astronomy all that much more fun. Hope to see you at the next meeting.